meaningoflife.org presents Food for Thought, Happiness as a Hindrance, exploring when happiness is and isn't enough. Here's some food for thought. Have you ever wondered if you've settled for happiness? If the wonderful life you are grateful for is a false ceiling? Imagine if the happiest you've ever felt is here on this graph. Here can be pretty dang good. Here has a beautiful family, comfortable home, and fulfilling work. Or maybe here is the open road, wind in your hair, and adventure ahead. Whatever it looks like, it's not that here is by any means bad or wrong. Rather, happiness here is not the most reliable indicator to having truly found our best life. We are better equipped to find that best life when we are familiar with the 4 different elements of well-being and their unique forms of goodness. Ephemeral pleasures are short-lived bursts of happy, like a great meal or a hot shower. Engagement and flow are both feeling totally absorbed in something, with flow having the additional element of challenge. Perspective is a mindset that stabilizes our well-being, so it is less dependent on external influences. And meaning is what we make of our life as a whole. Meaning is the richest and most significant source of well-being, and has its own 4 cornerstones, which are interwoven sources of meaning that connect back to who and how we are in the world. Love is our relationships with others, from friends to romantic partners. Service is what we do in benefit of others, our communities, and higher powers. Discovery and exploration is looking both inward at ourselves and outward at how we fit into the world. And finally, expression is channeling yourself into actions, from art to activism. When those 4 cornerstones have room to bloom, we experience a joyful and meaningful life. When we have a happy life, we may never seek out ways to build a meaningful life. Taking the time to wonder about what could happen if we engaged with more meaning isn't meant to invoke dissatisfaction for the life we already have. As opposed to wanting better because what we have is bad, we want better because deeper meaning enables us to find an even more beautiful life. Here's an example of how we can benefit from changing the already pretty good things in our life. Think about a time you went a little wild in the kitchen and tried a new seasoning or made a last-minute substitution, and it turned out so good. You didn't change the recipe because you hated the dish. This is a dish you liked, maybe even loved, and yet you still felt inspired to make a change. Exploring these new depths and flavors of meaning can be scary, challenging, or a lot of work, and is why we so often forego experimenting with new sources of meaning in favor of our old go-to recipes, even when they are just okay. Remember, we aren't just cooking for the hell of it. We are on a quest for our new favorite meal, the perfect blend that takes us from good enough to great. meaningoflife.org is here to help you explore what it means to change up your recipe for the better. Explore ingredients like vulnerability, awe, mindfulness, and more. Take one of the quizzes to get in touch with where your current meaning recipe is bursting with flavor and where it could use a little more seasoning. Or peruse our huge variety of topics for something that catches your eye. Thanks for watching. Now get into that kitchen and say yes to meaning.